Just lowering the desk a little.
We're live. What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 148 of Behind the ToolBelt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
Behind the Tool Belt is sponsored by Lead Scout. Find out more at leadscoutapp.com.
TC Backer, TC Backer.
Is that our website?
Boom! TC Backer family. Another beautiful Wednesday. It's the favorite day of the week. It's the best day of the week.
It is.
We got a couple special guests, man. We got some surprises for you guys.
Yeah, we do.
We got Chris too, aka Chris Holstra,
Chris
from Lead Scout,
Holstra.
and we got the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Harding.
Peter J.
How you doing, man?
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So, like Chris was saying, we got a very special guest, two guest appearances tonight. Chris, one of our great friends, partnering people that we use, an app that any salesperson can't do without. We got Peter J. Harding, which we were just describing earlier, which is a funny ass motherfucker, inspiring ass motherfucker, and a very educational ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
So, Pete, why don't we dive right into what of a badass motherfucker that you are, like what it was like, what it's like now, and how did you get here? Let's dive right into this, man.
Well, I haven't really met many people that can string the word "fuck" together like I can, because I was in a meeting the other day and I was talking, and the guy goes, I just want you to know that you said the word "fuck" 50 times. I'm like, well, guess what? I fucking dialed it back for you. So shut the fuck up. And he's like, oh my God, dude, don't do this. Anyways, how it was, I've been roofing for 40 years. 40 fucking years.
Right? You've earned the right to say fuck, man.
Oh man. And I was telling these fine young men that they had names for me. Madman Malcontent and Sarge Hard, because we used to do hot and wood shingles, and I'd just be screaming the whole fucking time. Just, fuck! Because I was so jacked up. I was so fucking, it was just so dangerous and so gnarly. I just loved it. So came from a blue collar family, couple Irish immigrant parents. And the day after I barely graduated, they said, you're moving out. So I'm like, okay. They go, that job that you've been doing, roofing, you might want to do that. I said, all right. They're great parents. So I've just been roofing since the 80s, and roofing found me, and because I needed a place where people were psychopaths and we can drink and do drugs all fucking day long. And I'm like, that's perfect. My people, my fucking people, man, I can fucking drink and do drugs all day long. Are you serious? And make money while I'm doing it. I can make and spend money at the same time. It's like, this is incredible. So that's what I started doing. And it was back in the days when we're, piece working for shingles, and we started doing these large tracks. This is a good one. And we'd all wait at the gate, right, for them to open the gate in the morning. And you'd have these sheeted big condominium complexes, and we would run. And if you threw your bags on the biggest run, the less cut up spot, you got it. Well, sometimes two people's bags would end up on that spot, and it was fucking go time. And it's always been in my mind, go time. So, I just been roofing the whole time, and then it just excelled from there. I just don't take any shit from fucking anybody, and people have been telling me you can't start a company, you can't do that. So it's like, yeah, watch me, motherfucker. So I did, and it's turned out to be a good deal.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
awesome, man.
So you're still roofing today physically, or do you own a company?
Well, I'm the founder of Go Green Roofing Company. We do about 30 million a year, and we do all
nice.
the Western states. So actually, it's funny you ask. I do still physically roof, right? I'm the founder of the company. I do right around $10 million in sales a year myself. But what I do is I get sick of being behind the fucking computer. I've been a roofer my whole fucking adult life. So what I'll do is I'll go out and work with the guys, and they're like, they want the owner to get the fuck out of here, right? Because now they're all nervous and shit. But I'm out there working with them. Like, I'll be doing tear off in my Vans and my freaking collared shirt and stuff, and they'll be looking at me like, oh my God, this guy's nuts. But what it does is it creates a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And it creates a fucking community of people that if I go running off a cliff, those fucking guys are behind me, right? So it's one thing that used to bug the shit out of me when I was a little older in roofing is the owner would come up and point his finger at shit and act like he was a big fucking dog or something, and I'm like, you're a fucking punk, dude. I don't care about you, and except for your check. So I go out and work with these guys, and a lot of the foremen. One of the foremen that, if you've seen a lot of my videos lately, the guy sitting there spraying, doing the acrylic, he used to be my foreman. So these guys I work with, I've known for 30 some odd years. And so yes and no, I am still working on the roof. I don't sit out there all day with them. I'll fire them up and work with them for an hour or two, but then that's it. Then I'll go off to the other job. I'll go sell something. I'll go to a sales call, fucking filthy. They're like, what's going on? I'm a fucking roofer. I hate to tell you.
What do you mean what's going on? I was on all day.
Yeah, they're like, you're filthy. Well, I didn't think the owner got dirty. I'm like, I do whatever it takes. And I tell the guys, I'm the rotating guy. If you're down a guy, call me. I'll go out there and bust my fucking ass all day. But then again, they don't want to work in front of the boss either. So.
Right on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good shit, man.
That is good stuff. So, okay, so you're an owner operator. What was the name of the company again?
Go Green.
Go
Green.
Green.
All one word.
Okay. So you do typically flat roofs, correct?
Very large flat roofs, yeah.
Okay, and you were talking about some kind of acrylic spray. Explain to us what that is. What's that
So
about?
we do an acrylic spray because out here in California, you had this thing called Title 24. You had to have a white roof, right? If you have a commercial roof and you have HVAC, you have to have a white roof. So out here about 40 years ago, there's a company that started called Metacrylics, and they're making acrylic roofing. And then there's like Western Colloid and APOC. And I actually got in learning how to put the product down a long time ago, right? And then I became friends with the manufacturers and learned how they're manufacturing it. And I have guys that have been doing that for 30, 35 years. We all used to do hot tar together and kind of got sick of getting burned and shit like that. So some of them navigated towards the coatings and some of them navigated towards the single ply. So the acrylic roofing system is an adhered roofing system that you put 2 gallons of base down, and you embed polyester fabric into that. And you put another 2 gallons of base over the top of that, all simultaneously. Then you come back and you do 2 gallons of top coat one way, and then you do 2 gallons of top coat the other way. It's called cross hatching, and it's actually it's renewable. So you can get 20-year NDL warranties with these things, and they literally perform. So after 20 years, you come in, you power wash it, you put some more top coat on it, and you coat it again, and you get another 10, 15-year warranty.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice.
Yeah, so a lot of people out here like it. And what's happened, and this is awesome. So if you've seen me on LinkedIn, I was freaking just going off on people for a while. So what's happened is single ply's price has doubled, right? And so as their stock, I own their fucking stock. I'm stoked, right? but it's like, dude, I can't get your material, but your stock has risen, the usual American way there. That's beautiful. But what's happened is that single ply used to beat up acrylic because a loose laid screwed down single ply roof used to be half the price of an acrylic roof. Well, now what's happened with that, the acrylic fully adhered system is half the price of a single ply roof. It's freaking crazy. So now, people are all wanting to get into the coatings aspect, and it's great money. It's water-based and doesn't burn you.
Yeah.
That's good. Can
Yeah,
it
that
go
is
over
good.
top of anything? Like, are you spraying over TPO? Like, what are you spraying over?
Yeah, I just did 7,000 squares in San Diego of TPO, over the TPO. You can go over the TPO. You can go over anything except for shingles. Rock, built up hot tar with rock is a little challenging. You'd either have to remove the rock, or Western Colloid has a product where you use emulsion, asphalt emulsion over the rock. So there's a couple different applications, but you can just call it all cold process if you wanted.
Okay.
Pretty basic.
Yeah, that's pretty
it
cool,
sounds
man.
like it.
Yeah, we
Sounds
don't
like
have too much of that going on out here yet.
No.
I have had some people, now that we're dipping a little bit more into the commercial end, some people have mentioned it, but it's not anything that we're really too familiar with out here. It's not a very popular thing, but I'd imagine it'll work its way over
What
there.
about in Michigan? Did you hear any
No.
doing coatings or anything like that? Now, since the, like you said, Chris, since the limitations on products and stuff like that, I think a lot of people have gone that direction, even GAF with coatings and stuff like that. I know they're training a lot more contractors on how to do the coatings and stuff like that, and have been pushing it because I think they even know to try to get or make and stay up with the demand for TPO and EPDM and things like that. It's just been a freaking nightmare. And somehow they can bust out like these products, these coating products a lot quicker than they can, I guess TPO or EPDM.
Yeah, not only that, man, if you think about it, when you're going to install a new TPO roof or an EPDM roof, what else do you need with it? I mean, you need insulation boards, you need screws and plates,
adhesives,
and all those things, I mean, are obsolete if you're using a coating. You're just going over the existing material, so that eliminates any kind of availability issues.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff. So Pete, let's get off the roofing topic a little bit. So you had mentioned about getting jacked up and fired up and stuff like that, but your videos and stuff that you do, that's what's caught my attention and wanted to reach out to you more than anything is, the other morning you posted one, and Ed Milet's voiceover was on it. It showed your coffee pot, you on your rowing machine, out walking your dog. What inspires you to do stuff like that? What motivates you? And give us that whole, like, what makes you fired up and jacked up?
Well, being of service to humanity. Okay, so there's a whole thing about that. I'm sober. I've been sober for 31 years, and I went to jail for a good amount of time. unfortunately. And what happened is, I was roofing, I was fighting, I was drugging, I was drinking. It was fucking awesome. And then it wasn't, right? It was really fucking bad. And what happened is I stopped drinking and my head started to clear, and then I became a better roofer, right? So the way roofing goes into everything I do. Like doing shingles back in the day, I knew I had to be very efficient. So doing shingles made me an efficient person. Like that's what we do. We see systems, right? Um, so I started doing without knowing it, and calling we could call it self development, right? So I got sober, and when I got sober, this guy gave me the big book of AA, and he gave me Marcus Aurelius Meditations. He gave me, and this is 31 years ago, he gave me Think and Grow Rich, and he gave me the other book, As a Man Thinketh. And he said, the big book's going to help you stop drinking. The other three are going to help you grow up because you're a man child and you're fucking disgusting. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean by that? Thanks, bro. And he goes, well, when did you start drinking? I go, 13. He goes, okay. And you're 25 now. So you're actually 13. So you need to grow up and grow up fucking fast. So, and at that point I said, okay, I was on what they called sheriff's parole for, it was a year. And I go, I'll give it a year. I'll do this for a year. And if I see nothing changes, then I'll just get fucking loaded and get crazy and have a live fast, die young life. And things started to change. I started to make a lot of fucking money, and I started to see things differently. I started to see the systems of roofing. I started to like take stuff in, and that's that was that. Then I got addicted to it, right? And then I heard that Jim Rohn. He said, "Work harder on yourself than anything else, and work harder on your job. I mean, work harder on yourself than you do your job." Well, me being fucking crazy, I guess. I thought if I work harder on myself than anything else, the world will be a better place because it'll have one less asshole walking around, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. So I go, I'll try it for another year. And I did it. And it just kept happening and happening. And mind you, after my parents, invited me to exit home, they I was pretty much homeless after that. Like I was sleeping on couches, disenfranchised youth, making money, doing blow, and being broke by Monday, right? And just living in my car and shit. And I was tired of that. I didn't want that to happen anymore. And I was really tired of going to jail. So I really just that stuff took a foothold on me, right? And I was like listening to cassette tapes and reading books about it, but I'm dyslexic, so back then reading books was super hard for me. But I would force myself to do it. I'd have to put my finger on the book, and it was just so painful. But I would do it because a switch had been flipped, and then I felt better, like helping other people, when they're down, just being generous. I'm like, this kind of feels good. This is really weird. And then, like, my mom used to say, "If you're not a giver, you're a fucking taker."
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's it. If you're not giving, you're fucking taking.
Mm-hmm.
Have at life and go fucking figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I always want to just give back. I because I know if there's somebody like me, because this last 3 years has been the hardest years of my fucking life. Mentally, and had a 20-year relationship just freaking explode. Everything I ever worked for, except for the company, just freaking went to shit. And during that time, during that time, I went back and looked at all the books and started rereading the books, started redoing the things that brought me to a successful point, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's it. This is all I got. I'm on fire. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing this shit. So I redid my morning routine, and I really focused on helping other people, because the worse I feel, it's a signal for me to get out of my skin and go help somebody, to do something, you know?
Mhm.
And there was another saying that it it's all around. They always say it. They say, if you get as many people as you can what they need, you will get what you want, right? So I live by those rules. So in the morning, I wake up at 4 o'clock, and the first thing I say, go time. And I put my fucking headphones on, and I put on Suicidal Tendencies, You
Mhm.
Can't Bring Me Down, and it's fucking on. And I do not fucking stop until like 9 o'clock at night. So I get up, I fucking drink 6 shots of fucking espresso, I do yoga, stretch, fucking write in a book, I row, I work out, I ride my bike freaking a minimum of 10 miles, and I go to work all fucking day, and I try to lift everybody up. Like, I'm not Mr. fucking happy. Hey, brother, freaking do all this shit. Life's trying to fucking kill us, right? So
Mhm.
I'm here to take no fucking prisoners. I'm not here to participate. I'm here to fucking dominate. And these are the hardest times the roofing industry has ever fucking seen,
Mhm.
and I'm not taking any goddamn prisoners. And
Amen.
um, so I make these videos because I was gifted with a few things. I wasn't gifted with being able to go to school and getting a degree and stuff. I was gifted with the ability to suffer more than any motherfucker in front of me, to have a fucking insane work ethic, and to be able to talk to people. So
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I going to do that? People, strangely enough, like me, and I'm like, what? That like, what's wrong with you, man? I'm fucking crazy. But my friend asked me the other day, he's like, what do you want people to remember you by? Like, what would they say at your funeral? That I said that they will say that guy was fucking nuts, but damn, did he get shit done, right? So I'm super nice, I'm super generous, but I'm also to the point. And I believe that if I get as many people as I can what they need, I will get what I want. And that's why I make the videos. And the other thing is, it's like you guys in your media. I'm 57 years old. Okay. I didn't grow up with this shit. It,
Yeah.
it's super uncomfortable. So that's another thing I'm good at. I'm comfortable in the uncomfortable. It's
Mhm.
super uncomfortable. I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing. So I want to know. And I don't read books about how to do shit. I just do shit.
Mhm.
I do shit until it almost kills me. And I go, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a step back on that one. But that's why I do these things. And I had a thought one day when I was riding super far on one of my bicycles that, these videos from older people throwing out wisdom and their experience and strength and hope, that's kind of like the guy that sits around the campfire back in the day and tells the stories. Can you hear my dog? My dog's fucking getting crazy over there. So it's a way to hit a community of people, and it's awesome because I get a lot of people back, young people in their 20s, from 18 to 25, going, hey, I want to start a roofing company. I love your vibe. Can you help me? And yeah, I'll talk to you. No worries. Because back when I was starting Go Green, I've made millions of dollars of mistakes. I mean, ones that'll make you puke and shit your fucking pants. They're so gnarly. You know, the other day, Darla, my dogs are getting crazy over there. The other day, we got served with a freaking $300,000 lawsuit that's totally frivolous and bullshit. But um, and I was like, cool as ice. I'm like, yeah, okay. I picked up the phone. I said, hey, Chris, I need you to go after some people. You know,
Right.
it's my lawyers, and it's just that we were part of the thing. They're actually suing somebody else, and we got sucked into it. But Nothing will come of it. But that's why I make the videos, because if I can be comfortable in the uncomfortable, no matter what happens,
Mhm.
it doesn't fucking matter. You know, whatever. You can't eat me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. No, I
You
love
know?
that. I love that. And earlier when you were talking about basically getting back to the basics, and what went through my head is, if we don't leave the basics, we don't have to go back to them. And Vic and I have been talking about that a lot lately. And like you said, over the past 3 years, especially for somebody in recovery, there's been like some of the meetings were closed down. They started this Zoom bullshit meetings and different types of things like that. Not to get out in the weeds too much, but what's cool about people like you and I and Vic, I feel like we have an unfair advantage over normal people, right?
Oh yeah.
And I say that because of the stress and tolerance and bullshit that we've put ourselves through in the past. None of this can compare to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel like guys like us are such high performing people, because there's nothing you can throw at us that I haven't already done to myself or worse. Spent time in jail, ruined relationships, just spiritually and motivationally dead, right? Like just like what I've done to myself. There's nothing on the outside world that could possibly affect me the way that I had affected myself and those around me. Right. So like going through lawsuits and stuff like that. And typically it's not the big stuff that freaks me out. It's that little shit that I'll stuff all this little shit, and then one little thing will happen, then I explode. Usually the $300,000 lawsuits, I'm pretty cool, calm, and collected. Let me break my fucking shoestring once, and I'll lose my mind.
Right.
And that's just how I'm wired, though. But I feel like with the stresses and the pressures and everything that has been going on, and supply chain issues, the state of Pennsylvania where we're at, that closed down in March of 2020. You know what I mean? All of these things has definitely put a strain on most human beings, right? In the entire world, right? That's been locked down, and where I felt like we lost touch was with empathy, right? Like somewhere along the line, it's become like this fucking Amazon world, and if it's not here tomorrow, like people are losing their fucking minds. Right, like it's like the patience and tolerance that anybody has for anything right now is like totally out the door. So that compiled on top of what did I touch? Did he sneeze on me? Dude's over there coughing. You know what I mean? I know there for a minute, it was like every time my feet hit the floor, I was like, what were they saying? If you could hold your breath for like 30 seconds,
you were
or
doing
some
that
shit,
every morning,
right? Like my feet would hit the floor, and I was like, okay, no, I'm breathing, I'm good. You know what I mean? So then add that on top of running a business. Other people's lives are at jeopardy because they're relying on that paycheck to come in. The state of fucking Pennsylvania's closed down. And we got to the point where it was like Tom Wolfe himself would have to come down here and shoot me in the head like a pig before I'm leaving this office. Like, we're not closing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do work in multiple states, and it's like, if we close down here, what about everybody else? And what about the work that we had that we were in the midst of in the state of Pennsylvania? So it was like, just to try to recover from that. What do they call that when a veteran comes back from like Vietnam or something? That post
Post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah.
Right. Like it's almost like the entire country suffering from that, and we don't even know it. You know what I mean? From like that shell shock of being locked down and being what told what to do, and you can't go here, you can't go there, and if you do come in here, you got to wear this and wear that, and don't touch this, and they're handing out gloves and sanitizer and all this stuff, and it's like it mentally
politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go to a bar, you got to eat food before you're allowed to drink a beer. Like all kinds of crazy rules they came up with, man.
Think about that. Like that's what was going through my head, not to stir all that stuff up, because we haven't had to talk about that for a minute. Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm knocking on wood there, but the stress over the past 3 years, I'm thinking that's what you're talking about besides your 20-year relationship that exploded. But that, if you really play that tape the whole way back through, that probably fueled that fire.
Yeah, it did. Check it out. November 2019, relationship exploded. December 2019, my friends came back from a cruise in China, in Japan. They brought us some fucking stuffed bears. I went and got it. Guess what happened? I got fucking COVID. Boom. And I was in bed for 7 fucking days. We didn't know what it was. We thought it was a bad flu.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then all of a sudden, a couple of months later, everything's going crazy. And you know, I was watching the people I work with, and people have lost their fucking minds. Absolutely. I'm in California. This place was already fucking out of control mentally. And then this shit, people were almost going to blows, you know? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But we were doing a lot of government work at the time, so we actually got pieces of paper, 8 by 12, 8 by 11 and a half, that we had to paste to our car windows saying that we were, what type of worker it was. I forget what type of worker it was, because we're doing low income housing, and we're like working at Lockheed and stuff like that. We're roofing the buildings that they make the bombs in. So got to have those keep going.
Oh yeah.
And so it was absolute freaking mayhem out here. It was crazy, but it's also, you know, and like you were saying, we've been through so much. I look at these things, and you know, my relationship, we're the best of friends now. You know, thank God we didn't go through COVID together, though. We probably would have killed each other. But we go through these things, and I'm like, they all happened for me. They didn't happen to me. All these things made me a better person. I also had a family member that has mental health issues, right? So I, for the last 10, 12 years, have been studying psychology just to try to figure out what the problem was, because it wasn't working out. So when this stuff happened in 2019, all that stuff started kicking in. I started revisiting all the old books. I started just really, you know, seeing if I could do 1,000 push-ups a day or something. Crazy experiments on myself, and you know, being the calm for the people at my office, because there were some people really losing their shit. And just working through it, because at the end of the day, that's all we have is work. And you know that you see that you have to take a step back, and you can't get into the minutia, like the little things. Oh, like this property manager, she's being such a bitch. Well, remember, she's the fucking boss. Okay, because of her, we're getting checks that pay your light bills. So you can call her what you want, but she's still your boss. So chill
Yeah.
out. And yeah, so I just want to pay it forward, man. That's all I want to do. No matter what it is. I just happen to be roofing for so fucking long that it's like, what do you know? Like, what do you know? What do you know? What do you like doing, and what are you good at, right? Well, roofing chose me. I want to choose something. And the iPhone was made, so I make videos.
Yeah.
So that's
Pretty
something
cool.
I choose to do.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool videos too.
Yeah, you
man.
do make good videos. They're quirky and they're different, and you stand out in them, man. Yeah, they're very authentic.
Well, thank you. I just do them for it's not, I don't do them for likes. I don't do them for anything. Maybe there's that one dude or young lady or old lady, whoever, whatever, somebody out there that is thinking about fucking pulling the trigger that day, and they go, you know what? I saw maybe that one video that has one view. Maybe I saved that fucker's ass. You
Yeah.
know? That's, to me, is better than 1 million freaking views, $1 million. I don't give a fuck. If I got somebody to live one more day, to give one more day a chance, or to try something that they're afraid to do, fuck, I hope so.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
You know,
man.
and I think like we talked earlier before we started going live, I think let's say behind the tool belt had core values, right? And right off the top of my head, or core vision. Our core vision more so would be obviously entertaining, right? Educational and inspiring. And I think that's what I know for a fact. That's what drew me to you. Like, we got to get this dude on the show. Like, I need to know this guy more. He there's a lot of things that I'm picking up from him that I feel like I can relate to. Like we have a lot in common, whether it be from dropping the F-bomb every other word, or being sober, or just that wanting to get that message out there. Like obviously you're not getting paid to do that. You're a roofer, right? And you're not doing that to market your business, your roofing business. You do it, and you can tell you do it to be inspiring, right? And it's working. Just so you know, continue to keep doing that consistency, right? We talked about it. What were we talking about consistency today? Like you just have to keep doing it. And it was just like when we started this podcast, we were talking earlier, we started this thing 3 years ago, right? I don't even think we knew what like our intentions were, other than to try to sell these other
Gazebos, man.
these gazebos that we built for a fundraiser thing that we were trying to auction them all for. And then all of a sudden it was just kind of like, hey, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right. So then we were talking about TC Backer, and it was more, then it started to go more towards like an industry as a whole, not just about us anymore. Like this isn't about us. Like we're actually reaching people, right? Like people are listening to this. So it's like, now it's like, okay, we're entertaining. We can be beneficial in educational, and if we can possibly inspire somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like with something that we might say, because we're all about the self-improvement, doing better. If I failed yesterday, figure out what I failed at and then try to just make it a better day tomorrow, right? Like I go back if I owe an amends, or whatever that might be. What we're constantly striving to just be better people. And I think I would say 99.999% of our viewers know that like what we're about, and that authenticity. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't send you notes or bullet points. Like we're going to go over this tonight and you need to talk about this. No, fuck that. Like we want to talk about like the real deal. This is live and uncut. So if you drop the fucking F-bomb, you drop the F-bomb. Guess what? 2,500 viewers by the end of the week just heard you say fuck. And how much more raw or authentic can it get than that? Like I'm not perfect, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. You see, what you see is what you get. And if I messed up and if I hurt your feelings, I probably didn't do it intentionally. But it goes back to like you were saying earlier. It's like, you're on a fucking mission, right? And I might be misunderstood because I have goals and aspirations that I'm going to accomplish, and I may not be understood by everybody, right? They might not get that, right? Because I'm not a small thinker. I don't think that I'm a small thinker, because the impact of the people, of the lives that we want to make today, go way beyond like our community, goes way beyond my household, right? So there's 4 things, right? And we all need to think about this at some point in time if we're sincere about this, right? And rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, right? So you have your personal life, you have your professional life, you have your community, and you have your industry, right? Where do I gauge myself? How am I impacting my personal life? How am I impacting the people at home, right? How am I impacting the people in my personal life? Where do I gauge myself, right? Am I 1, worst? Am I 5? Am I mediocre? My community. How am I impacting? How well am I impacting my community, right? And I think most people stay in that, or they don't even care about their fucking professional life. It's more about their family and me, and then they can't see any further than their fucking nose, right? Or they come to work and it's just, I just want my paycheck. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their coworkers. They don't show up for their coworkers. Like, let's show up, right? Because our people are relying on us, and I am so well at what I do that it's impacting their lives because they have a job, because I'm good at my job, right? And then we can, then when we're all good and we're all rowing in the right direction, right? Now we can start thinking about the community that's been so fucking good to us, right? That makes that phone ring, right? So now let's start giving back to the community. But then we can take it one step further and do a fucking podcast every Wednesday night and impact the industry. Plus, there's much more than that.
Right.
But I feel like that's where this has gone for us. You know what I mean? Right, wrong, or indifferent. But that's the vision that I see. And like I said, I may step on people's toes on the way to get there, but know this, my intentions were good.
No, they're just weak.
Yeah.
If they get butt hurt, then they're weak. It's like, get out of my way because you're fucking slow, right? I don't mean to. Did I offend you? Well, maybe you needed to be offended, right? So it's you guys are doing a great job, and when sometimes when I go to meetings, I'll sit there and I go, well, I'm going to fuck y'all up right now. I'm going to tell you the meaning of life. Right now, we're done. It's going to be over. Work harder on yourself than anything else and give back. Be of service. Fucking period. Period. If you're not a giver, you're a fucking taker. But it doesn't mean I'm a fucking pushover, and it doesn't mean I'm a bitch either. So if you're sitting there crying about your ninth place fucking trophy and I'm trying to get to the top of the mountain, you're going to get run over. And that's your lesson in life. Go, oh man, this old 57-year-old fucking man just ran my ass over. What's the lesson? You know, and we've had those lessons. Everything is a lesson. And when shit hits the fan, now I don't go, oh my God, this is happening. I think, okay, what's going to happen?
Yeah. But
You know, what are we going to do? This is going to be gnarly. You
yeah.
know? And what's going to happen afterwards? But it always revolves around, ends up like, how can I give back? How can I help you? How can, it's attraction rather than promotion, right? So by all of us not caring about the likes and stuff like that, it frees you up to be super genuine, right? And like you said, to be super consistent. You know, I have to have a morning routine. I mean, it's fucking beast mode. And if I tell people my morning routine and they don't believe me, they're like, you're fucking nuts. There's no way you do that. Oh, fuck yeah, I do. Because I have to have a small bubble. You know, I have to control. There's only 3 things we control: our thoughts, emotions, and actions. And if my thoughts go to shit, my emotions are going to get squirrely, and then my actions are going to be fucking dark, right? So that's why in the morning I get up super early. I fucking do this stuff. I get the endorphins going, and that way I can be on a mission to go out there and serve. You know, if I can get as many people as I can what they need, I will get what I want. And you know, I love the 2022 Porsche Targa. I love freaking the house on West Cliff down here in Santa Cruz. It's about a mile away. There's this house I've been eyeballing. If I get out of my own fucking way, my own selfishness, and I become a giver and I stay a giver, maybe I'll be doing 6 gear fucking burnouts, doing 120 miles per hour in a fucking 2023 Porsche Targa, because I probably won't get it this year. You know, I don't know. I don't know. But even if I don't get that stuff, it's fun getting there. You know, how many people do I help on the way? You know, that's where it matters. And people are so fucking selfish. I tell you, you know, Mike, it blows me away to say go green to $30 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that until I looked up from my computer, and my right-hand lady, my keeper, is standing there going, hey, you know, we did this much. And I'm going, holy shit, how did that happen? I came from a class of about 350 people. I was probably 349 in that class because I was just there to sell drugs. And you know, I've been homeless. I died from a drug overdose. I did all this crazy shit. There's a million people smarter than me. There's a billion people smarter than me. But all of a sudden I looked up and I founded this beast because I surrounded myself with the best people and smartest people in the industry. And the only thing that was on my mind was giving the best lives and the most money I fucking could. And then I look around and I'm like, there's go green everywhere. I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being called the King of California by Paul Reed. I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know, I'm like, I'm just a roofer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just a fucking roofer. And I thought about that too. I'm like, because a friend of mine said, you're not just a roofer. And then I thought, you're right. I protect billions of dollars of industry while doing the 4th most dangerous job in the United States. That's what I fucking do. Now get the fuck out of my way. I'm coming through.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Mic drop.
I love this dude.
You got a 7,000
love
square deal to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
Right.
do them every year. I do 7,000 freaking square. We got 2 in Vegas starting right away next month. One 6,000, and then one right next to it's another 4,000, I think.
So as the lead guy, I gotta ask, like, how do you get that? How do you land that? I mean, we're in the residential lead gen space.
Attraction rather than promotion.
Mm.
So okay, I ain't got no secrets because it took me a long time to figure this shit out. On LinkedIn, pre 2019, I was literally with just 2 or 3 clients a year, I was pulling in $1 million worth of work. Damn close. And what I did is I started watching how people were doing their posts. They were saying, "Hi, I'm Pete with Go Green Roofing. We're the best roofer in town. Use us." Shit like that. And I'm like, "You're a fucking jackass, man." I was almost going old school right there. I had to hold it back. But so I'm like, "What? Okay." So I took a picture of a 6,000 square roof I had just coated in San Diego. And I put it up and I said something super simple. 6,000 square, 600,000 square foot roof, 500 miles from home, done in 90 days. And then what I did is I broke down how many miles of polyester, how many gallons of system, just this stuff.
Yeah.
And I love jobs like this. That's it. So that post showed I do work 500 miles from home.
Mm.
I have the crews that can do a 6,250, 625,000 square foot building. Oh, and there was 425 brand new fucking skylights that put on it. And I know how to use a calculator, and it's like,
You know your numbers.
Mhm.
so yeah, so people saw that. Some huge ones that rhyme with CBRE and stuff like that saw it and they started fucking calling. And then in my local area, working with property managers, I just look at their email and I research everybody. It say what other towns and cities and they're in, and then I would send them an email. Hey, just seeing if you have any work, going on around here. And by the way, just got my license in Utah. And they're like, "Oh, we happen to have a freaking office there." I'm like, "Really? That's crazy."
Could you imagine that?
Yeah, so I go out there and do it. And I use cold callers and a certain software, which you probably use, one of them that identifies the property owner and their whole portfolio, and I have them go after it relentlessly. So the chant I have in my office is we are fucking relentless, right? Relentless. Go after, go after, go after. So what I do also is when I go into another city, I print out all the property management companies around the office that I'm going to be working out of, and I visit them once a week. Around in the Bay Area where I live, I could do it once a week. Down there, I usually do it like I'll start out once a week, then I'll do once every 2 weeks, and I'll just keep asking them for work. Do you have any work? Do you have any work? Do you have any work? I don't do. I've never done any email blasts. I've never done any mailers. Most of the work is literally word of mouth because I have people that go to other companies, and the LinkedIn was huge. I'll still post a little bit on there, and I'll still get some leads from it.
Mm-hmm.
But the cold callers to the large buildings, and by me actually walking in
Say.
and doing this because I get my steps in. I got to get my steps.
Door knocking. You gotta
Yeah,
get out there.
it's door knocking on steroids, right?
Yeah.
So I've had people run me out of their office. I thought I fucking told you to never come back in here. I'm like, yep, I did, and I'll see you next week, motherfucker. And they're like, fuck you. So, and then COVID happened. So I'm sitting there thinking, how do I really, get this work? So I started just back on LinkedIn and doing that. LinkedIn's kind of flooded right now, and I just haven't been very happy with it because there's a lot of people spamming in the email, and it's just kind of a bummer. If you can't attract, that's it, right? If you're a good person and you're doing the right thing, you attract people to you. If you
Yep.
work harder on yourself than anything else and be of service to frickin' everybody, you'll be taken care of. I don't worry about shit. I don't worry about a fucking thing. I've never missed a meal. I got a roof over my head. I got clothes on my kids. I got clothes. I'm actually a minimalist. I don't have a whole bunch of shit. I will have that Targa, but um, I don't have a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't like stuff, but it enables me to give more, and if somebody needs a kind word or a fucking slap across the face, I got it for them, and y- it's LinkedIn for people, and I'm thinking about the mailers. I
Yeah.
used to do them years ago, like 25 years ago. We did them in another company. I'm thinking about it, but it's attraction.
What's your thought?
Well, we were getting, what was it, 1% for every 7,000, but still in a commercial industry, fucking one lead for every $7,000 you spend, that's nothing.
ROI's
It's
there, yeah.
fucking nothing. I've made $250,000 mistakes with one click of the fucking key. So to spend $7,000 ain't nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's to take it to the next level. I'm lucky to be at where we're at, right? Um, about how much we're doing with how little advertisement we actually do. But there was another thing that did it, right? So we came from companies that had 7-man crews, like hot tar crew, coating crew, single ply crew. So when I was trying to attract workers, because it started out with just me in a trailer, what I did is I go, okay, what I can do is I'm going to pay people more. I'm going to pay everybody $5 more than you get, pretty much union wages around here. And that way, what's going to happen is you're going to get, my dog's freaking losing it. You're going to do faster work. You're going to do faster work and better work. And that's going to be the best thing you can do because the client will see it, will be being of service to them, and they'll just give us repeat work, right? So I'm going to pay you guys more money, except I'm going to cut 2 guys off your fucking crew. You're going to have 5 guys on your crew because we all know those 2 guys are sitting by the drain in the fucking shade all day, not doing a goddamn thing. So fuck them. We're going to get rid of them. You're going to have 5 guys. You're going to still be responsible from anywhere to 100 to 300 square goddamn day, but you're going to be making more money. How do you like that? Or I could go get a fucking billboard and pay you less. What do you want to do? We'll take the more money. Okay. And so at the beginning, it was a crazy experiment that I knew
I love that.
could probably bankrupt me very quickly, but I didn't give a shit because you can't eat me. I don't fucking care. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we did it. And all of a sudden, here comes the fucking work just flowing in. So our clients are fiercely loyal because I do a couple basic things. I visit them and I pick up the fucking phone when it rings.
Mhm.
This is Pete. Oh, you're still answering the phone? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What? When I hit 2 million, I don't have to answer the phone anymore. If I hit 10 million, what? Do I get a gold watch? No, motherfucker. It's like you gotta keep going because guess what? Those youngsters out there, just like the insanity and disease in my head, they're doing push-ups waiting for us to fucking fail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what happens is everybody wants to be comfortable. And I bet on that.
Yeah.
So they start feeling a little bit of success and they start fucking walking around like the cock of the walk while I'm sitting here fucking working. And they're sitting there bragging up their shit. They're feeling a little freaking comfortable. And the next thing you know, they just got run over by a 57-year-old man on a fucking mission, And they're like, fuck. So don't ever ever take your guard down, because I'm coming. And I love the fight. I love the fucking guys get hurt when they lose a job. They're like, "Oh, those fuckers took that away from me. That took that job from me." I'm like, "No, you fucking lost it because you fucking blinked. You fucked up. Now let's go over it. Where did it happen? Everything happens for us. It's like I love it. I love everything about it. And
Awesome.
I don't know how I got on that tangent, but you guys flicked the switch again, and I just went for it.
Yeah.
We wanted to know how you landed those big deals.
Oh yeah, well that's how I got them. So
You hustle.
yeah, well, so as my career came up, right, some of those small property managers I worked for got big time fucking jobs, right? And they became from assistant property manager to vice president of CBRE to freaking president of their freaking CBRE in the area. And who's their fucking roofer? That crazy fucking tattoo guy that says fuck all the time. Like, call Pete. They don't say call Go Green. They say call Pete. Pete will handle it, because at the end of the day, we solve problems. That's it. If I can solve more of their problems and they don't have to worry about it, I'm golden. They give me a build a 2,500 a $250,000 roof or $1 million roof. They know they don't have to fucking worry about it. That job down south with all the skylights was over $2 million. I never saw the owner or the property manager one fucking time. We could have had ragers there. It's like no, they have never ever come and walked the jobs ever. They don't fucking care. They don't fucking care because they know it's handled. And
It's exactly what they want.
yeah, truthfully, it's fucking handled way better than they're even thinking it is, because I'm betting my life on it, right? So, and I just want to give them the best I can, and that's how those jobs come. And
So good.
I landed a bunch of work off of fucking TikTok too. This is fucking nuts. So I one day, oh god, dude, this is crazy. I became one of the 15 national roofing contractors for a company that starts with a wall and ends with a mark, because because I get this text, not a text. I get somebody hits me up on TikTok, and it's some like googly eyes, some name, right? And they said, "Hey, are you on LinkedIn?" And I'm like, "Okay, somebody's creeping on me." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Look up this name on LinkedIn." So it's me, hit me up there. So I look it up, and it's National Project Manager of Roofing for such and such. And I'm like, holy shit. And then my mind blew, because I realized right then, and I looked at their picture, and they're like, I would say 32 years old. And I went, fuck, I have been missing the fucking target the whole time, because I'm old. I'm thinking all the decision makers are my age. And I'm like, motherfucker, all the decision makers are now between 30 years old and 40 years old. And where do those fucking people hang out? They're on TikTok, Instagram. They're not on Facebook. Some of them are. A lot of them are lurking around on there. You guys probably have better contact with people on Facebook than I do, because I kind of left it alone for a while after the explosion of the personal life. But I'm like, son of a bitch. And that's where those people are hanging out. They're on TikTok and stuff like that. So I went all in on TikTok, and I got a bunch of work off of TikTok, some local people too. And yeah, it's just but TikTok's not evergreen. So I'm going down the marketing path. TikTok's not an evergreen thing. So I'm going all in on YouTube and Facebook. And some of Instagram. I think Instagram's kind of dying. But it's like, I love it because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I have no idea. So I'm being me with these videos of inspiration, because I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. Like I looked up and there was this company. It's like, how the fuck did I do that? How did this happen? I'm a fucking idiot. You know, I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, it started with Marcus Aurelius and it went to Think and Grow Rich. Then it went to As a Man Thinketh. Then it went to reading the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, freaking the Dharmapada, all the freaking religions, listening to Jim Rohn, it all fell down onto self-development and then being generous and selfless. I'm like, holy shit, it fucking happened. And I didn't even see it happen because I was focused on helping the people I work with for 30 plus years and getting them the best company they could work for or with, I mean. And it's like, holy fuck. So it totally happened with all the self-development. And I'm bringing it all the way around if you guys can follow me.
Oh yeah.
If it all happens with the self-development, but it all leads into the same thing. You know, if you're of service to your clients, if you're of service to humanity by just not being another dick on the street, flipping people off and shit, you know, which I have my moments that that's how I get all the work. It just, I attract it. It comes to me because they go, this guy's fucking nuts, but I like him. I don't know why. I got to talk to him. And like you, I saw that I'd see you, Ty, and I'd be like, is that guy my brother? Like, was my dad fucking screwing around somewhere or something? Like, I don't, this guy, he's totally Irish. He's got to be Irish, that fucking guy. I go, he's fucking rad. But it's the same thing, you know, if you're on the same, if you want to get all hippie freaking California shit, if you're on the same wavelength and you're putting out the same energy, it's the truth, right? I used to walk around when I was drinking. I hated everybody and everything and life sucked. What do you think happened to me? I got my ass beat all the time and life really sucked. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe if I say life is better, maybe it'll be better. So it is. So that's why in the mornings I control the first thoughts that come out of my head. And the first thoughts are, it's fucking go time. I'm on it. So I don't watch the news. I don't look at any of that shit first thing in the morning because I don't want anybody to fucking poison me.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
I fucking like
too.
this guy, man.
You know what I mean?
I like him.
We stopped watching the news. At least I have.
Yeah.
You know, I like you said, it's just been poison. But I like it's go time. You know, as soon as your feet hit the floor, it's go time. That's good stuff, man. Because honestly, that first, let's say 30 minutes of your morning can predict how the rest of your day is going to go.
God, yeah.
It does.
And yeah, when you have a routine like that, like you have, and if you start to slip away from that, right, like in any way, shape, or form, it starts to affect you. And it's like we were talking about, like, you know, if you don't leave the basics, you don't ever have to go back to them. And for me, it's become habit because I have a morning ritual as well. I get up before anybody else gets up in the house so I can do my thing. I read my daily reflections. I've been reading it for over 12 years now. I know I've read it a million times. I can probably tell you what each day is going to be. But for me, I have to be reminded of these things that I'm reading, you know. And what's cool about it is we're in the 10th month. So it talks about the 10th step, the entire month of October. And that took me a long time to even figure that out. I think somebody had to point that out to me, like probably like 10 or so years ago. It's like, you know, this is a perfect month for those. It was probably January 1st. And it's like, it's step one, January 1st, go ahead, start reading from there. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, well, I'd hate to tell you something, but I just learned something. I never even thought of that. I'm like, holy shit, there's 12 months and 12 steps. 31 fucking years of sobriety and no clue.
Right. Hey, don't feel bad, bro. I've been around for a minute too. It took me a minute to figure that out. And you wanted, I was going to go into something else that occurred to me not that long ago, but there was this dude, and I'm getting off track here a little bit but I want to share this because I didn't get it, but there was this dude that used to come around and he used to always talk about the gift of desperation. And I don't even think He knew it. But one night I was just sitting there. I'm like, God, the gift of
Oh,
desperation,
fuck.
right?
Over
God,
there blowing Pete's mind right now.
There's so much fucking shit in there. I swear to God. I'm like,
right? Like
that's
fucking good
awesome.
Lord, like, oh my God. Like, I don't even know if that dude even knew what he was saying, but for whatever reason, not that long ago, I was sitting there like God, group of drunks, gift of desperation, whatever, however you want to look at that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was like one of those, like, holy fuck, I was blessed with God, right?
Yeah.
You know, a gift of desperation. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I wouldn't have been. But yeah, I just thought I would share that because I was hoping that you haven't heard that one yet either,
I hadn't.
or
either.
connected the dots on that. But I just thought I'd let you in on that one too, there, Pete. Maybe we should hang out more often.
I think we should, you know, and I was thinking about that, you know, why the videos things, and it's exactly what you just did. It's like, you know, back in the day, they would have the campfire where you'd have the circle of elders sharing wisdom and like, oh God, you know, this happened to me and stuff. And that's these videos you guys are doing right now,
Mhm.
and the little videos I do too. You know, we're paying it forward. We're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. It's like, you know, you could pick up the big book of AA and I got the same one. I could open it up and there'll be something there
Mhm.
like, who snuck that shit in there? It's like,
Every
where'd that
time.
come from, man? It's like I've read that book 1,000 times. Like, where did that come from? But
Mhm.
you hear something when you're supposed to hear it,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
that's what's so important and so special about it. When your ears will open, when your ears will open. There's this one time I was in jail and this guy was doing fucking life or whatever, and he asked me what I was doing there, and I told him, and he just looked at me. He looked at me and he goes, you know, you don't have to live like that. And he stood up and walked away. And I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody told me that. I missed that note.
Right. Right.
I don't have to live like this?
I don't.
Oh my God, what a concept.
What a revelation,
I
right?
know. I'm like, that fuck. I wish somebody would have told me that a couple of years ago. That wouldn't have but I
Yeah.
wouldn't have heard it, right?
Right.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
your ears were open to receive that message that day, as simple as it is. And that's the thing. It's like this thing's so simple. Everything that we do so simple, but we complicate the shit out of it
Mm-hmm.
at times, you know?
We do. You know, the business, I could still run my business on a fucking napkin and a pencil. That's how easy my systems are to bid a job. You know, there's not a whole bunch of freaking crazy shit going on because I have roofers bidding roofs, right? The guys that are bidding these roofs are roofers. And I know I just jumped to something else, but it's that I keep it that simple because I never know when the power is going to go out. Even if the power goes out, you're still going to need a roof. Everybody's got a fucking roof and they're still going to need it. So I could write it down on a pad. Here you go. Here's your fucking price. Just keep shit simple, man. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yep, that's right.
Love it.
Yep, no doubt. What a great episode. We're about an hour and 8 minutes. Chris,
really
would
good.
you like to talk, or either Chris's?
Yeah,
Would
I
you-
feel like I haven't
Yeah.
really much.
I've been loving listening to
Yeah,
this.
me
guy,
too.
man.
Me too.
Mesmerized.
I feel you. I feel bad because you flew the whole way over here.
Yeah, I flew here just for Pete today.
I know you did.
Yeah,
Just
he's
so
got that
Pete,
sweet- this
you should
sweet
feel
background
special.
here,
This
guys.
when I told this guy that Peter J. Harding was coming on the show, he flew the whole way over here from Michigan just
Had
to
to go to
meet you.
Atlanta first, of course.
Yeah,
Well, I could have come out there then.
come
So
on
thank
out.
you.
Special guest,
Yeah, man.
Madman Malcontent.
Or we'll come see you.
Yeah,
Shit, I don't care. I don't think I've ever
Winter
been to
months,
California.
we'll come your way.
Yeah.
Oh, you should. I live right in Santa
Right.
Cruz. Get a room at the Dream Inn. It's right next to the fucking boardwalk. I'll take you down to the wharf and we'll
going
get all sorts of seafood. It's
All right.
awesome.
Let's set that up for real.
Let's do it.
Yeah, road trip.
Yep.
Right
Let's do
on.
it, man.
I'm down.
Yeah, man.
Well, Chris, do you want to
Love
ask
that
him the
stuff.
magic special golden nugget question?
So we ask all of our guests this question, man. And I feel like you subliminally kind of answered this question a couple different times throughout this, so I kind of know where your head's at here. But Pete, you know, being an entrepreneur and performing at a high level and having a lot of responsibilities and never-ending motor here, man. What motivates you and what keeps you putting your best step or your best foot forward every day and just performing at a high level? What's that motivating thing?
Well, what motivates me most is I want to be empty when I'm dead. When that fucking bullet comes at me or that truck or if I'm blessed to be dying on my bed, I'm going to say I'm fucking ready because um I've already tried it once and it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Oh, well, it was pretty bitching, but um I I really want to know what I'm fucking capable of. I want to know what I'm capable of. And I think dying with my dreams my would be the would be hell. It
Yeah.
would be hell to be like either it's fast or slow thinking, fuck, I wish I would have done that. I don't want any of those at
Yeah.
all. So I charge it and I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm not hurting people's feelings. I'm not fucking robbing, cheating, and stealing. I'm helping. And that's what motivates me the most. If I can hopefully reach the end line empty and have helped a ton of fucking people, I'm good. That's what motivates me every day because tomorrow's not given, man. This is all we got. So I'm going to give this moment right fucking now all of it, everything until I fucking just drop. That's my motivation.
Great answer.
Yeah.
That was
Might have been
definitely a good
one of
one.
the best
And I
actually.
I like
believe
that.
you. I believe you, man. And I believe you're going to do it too. I think you're going to be empty when
Yeah,
that
I
day
want to be,
comes,
man.
brother.
I hope that for everybody.
Mhm.
It's some people just sit there and just want to be served and comfortable. I'm comfortable in the uncomfortable, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna go get it, and I'm gonna fucking work. I'm gonna be empty, man. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try everything.
Amen.
That's good shit, man.
No doubt,
That's
man.
good
I
shit.
can't wait to meet you in person. Are you going to RoofCon next week?
No, I'm not. I didn't. Like I said, I keep my face buried in my computer or on the roof or with the guys or whatever. And for the last 10 years, I've never done any of this stuff. It wasn't until I was on the Western States board that I met Paul Reed and Scott, Big Scott. He's a storm chaser, just fucking great people.
Yep.
And they're
Mhm.
like, hey, dude, there's a whole lot of roofing stuff going on. You should check. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're
Mhm.
like, yeah, check out these guys on Facebook. You should go on Facebook and take a look at it. And I'm like, holy shit. Like it was almost a tear jerk moment because I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my God, the industry I've given my whole fucking life to is actually appreciated. Because I used to be out here fucking kicking and fighting, throwing fucking bones because, oh, you're just a fucking roofer. Oh, yeah, I'm just a fucking roofer. Well, you got a roof. Everybody does. You better fucking appreciate us. We do the fourth most dangerous job while protecting trillions of dollars of industry. And you're calling me just a fucking roofer?
Right. In their Farrah Fawcett
Fuck
poster.
you. Yeah, in your Farrah Fawcett poster,
Yeah, I love
bitch. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I get on a roll, it's on a roll. But
Now-
I was actually thinking about it, but I got to be in San Diego because I do a lot of shit. I do a lot of
Yep.
stuff for my company. I'm like out there charging it. So the stuff a little closer to home, I would do. I really would have liked to have because that's where all the young the next generation's going to be,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I'd really like to meet them because I want to help them. Because like I said earlier, nobody helped me at all. You
No.
ask if I would go to a commercial contractor, hey, how do you do this? Get the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But no, I want to help people, man. These kids are the life's blood of the industry.
Yes.
Kids, 30s and 50s,
Right.
30s and 40s. But the younger generation are the life's blood and they want it. And you know what? Did you see the video where I called them I call the generations, the millennials and stuff, the coachable generation. I go, I believe they're way smarter because they're smart enough to pay 10 grand for a class than to make a $250,000 fucking mistake
Yeah.
like I did.
Right.
So who's smarter, right?
Seriously.
They are.
They're skipping the sweat equity You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You talk about that sometimes too, on how fortunate, the position of the industry is now that you have all these young guys coming up,
Mhm.
and they got to skip so many years
Oh yeah.
of, trials and tribulations and fuck ups and
Dumb taxes.
jail time and all
Yeah.
the fucking stupid shit that,
Right.
the older generation have put themselves through to get where they're at today. And now you have a generation of people that will hop onto a random Facebook group and offer advice and, open up their direct messaging to people just, halfway across the country just to answer questions, business questions, personal questions,
Yeah.
anything. And it's just great.
That's what I do. I love it, but there are a lot of nuances to like what me and Ty can say, oh yeah, this happened to me, blah blah blah. But until you're fucking you're in the fire, you don't really realize what the fuck you got to do. You got to act fast. There's so many different little things. Like we could tell you, and that's going to take you a long, far, right? But until the shit hits the fucking fan and it's flying at you, you don't really know what's going to happen. And that's the beautiful part about it, because
Mhm.
holy shit, what are we going to do? So it's fun though. I really love the camaraderie and the question asking. And anybody can contact me. I'm on all the freaking things. They can ask me any questions. Had a kid today that he went all the way through college to become to become a cop, whatever that takes. And he goes, yeah, I don't want to do it now. I want to start a roofing company. What would you do? I said, well, I would get a job tearing off fucking roofs
Yeah.
and watch how they do it. That's what I would do. And that's actually what I did. So you got to know how they come off before they go on.
Yep.
buddy.
Yeah, for real. And I think that's some of the problem with our industry right now. There's too many people that own roofing companies that don't have a roofing background.
Right.
Not saying they're not good business people. And maybe I just feel biased because I grew up in the industry slinging shingles, doing, EPDM, rubber
Mhm.
roofing and siding, windows, gutters, mostly all residential stuff. And have been blessed and half smart enough to be an entrepreneur, right? Lucky enough, I guess, in most cases. But like you said, there needs to be the us older generation, because there is a big, huge generational gap, right? Like, so
Mhm.
since the recession of 2008, when with that crash, and I'm kind of using that as a marker because I can see two generations ahead of me that passed the torch to me. But right at that time frame, like 2008, 9, and 10, there was nobody after me. Right, because
Right.
I'm 46, so there's a huge generational gap from like 46 to 30, right? Like for easy math, 45 to 30. So there's like a 15-year gap there that they're just with the housing market and everything.
Mhm.
And I'm just blaming it on that, but that's kind of around the time where I feel like there was that huge generational gap where now, don't get me wrong, there is, the 30 something generation that does a great job in the roofing industry for us and stuff. And we have a lot of them. We've been able to land a lot of them. Chris came from a commercial roofing. Brandon came from a commercial roofing company, and many more people, Derek and those guys are all 30 something. So we were fortunate, but there's no 40 or what so like 35
Right.
like there's just a huge gap. It's far and few between. It's tough to find them, but now I would say even now the younger generation starting to show interest. At least we promote it enough, I think, that we're attracting the 8 to 17, 18, 20, 25, 27-year-olds, because we have a handful of them too that are coming right out of high school to come work for us. So we've been fortunate that way. And so are they, because honestly, my son wants to go to Votech to learn how to swing a hammer. And it's like, I almost feel, and again, I'm probably biased, I feel like every man should at least know how to swing a hammer and read a tape measure.
Oh yeah.
You should be able to take care of your own shit at your own home, around your home, the basic stuff. I'm not saying to be a plumber or an HVAC guy to know how to figure that shit out, but enough to know if that guy's coming over to your house to beat you over the head.
No, you got YouTube for that shit, right?
Right. Very true. Very true. But before I forget, Jen actually offered you, she had a free ticket to RoofCon. I know you're busy, but Speaking of Jen, her last One Industry, One Model tour ends in Salt Lake City, Utah in January. We should really try to make time to hook up then, because Jen's got a fabulous thing going on. It's her last shebang of the season for her One Industry, One Model, and she probably won't do it again. And she's got a lot of good stuff. But not only that, there's a lot of good people that will be attending this thing. And it would be great to meet you somewhere in the middle, right? Like in halfway between California and Pennsylvania would be Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah, let's do it. I got people out there.
Yeah, man. So let's do it. I think my dad's coming with me. My Aunt Barbie, who lives in Colorado, is going to be there because she's been in the construction industry as a professor out there at SoCal. She was out in SoCal, and now she's in Colorado teaching at the University of something, probably Colorado.
Yeah.
So I want Jen to meet my aunt. So Jen, by the way, my aunt's going to probably be there with my dad. I just felt like I needed to get those two more involved with kind of what we do, because my Aunt Barbie's a woman in construction, and her daughter, they got this huge program that they've done. Their students have won award in Vegas and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, I don't know why I haven't plugged her more, but I figured that would be a great start to kind of get her some notoriety and the hard work that she's put in and to get people to notice that kind of stuff. So anyhow, let's get together at some point here soon and nail down that time for Jen's One Industry, One Model tour in Salt Lake City.
You bet. You guys can text me and call me anytime, man.
Okay.
I'm always open.
Me too.
Email me, whatever. Texted's better.
Cool. Me too.
Yeah,
Just don't
stuff,
LinkedIn message him.
Yeah, just don't. I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cal.
Delete. No, I look at it. I look who they are. But yeah, because usually it's a lot of lead people. That,
Yes.
I don't need to be a dick, but
People.
Yeah.
sorry.
The Lead Scout app is something that every single salesperson should have on their phone, bro.
Yeah.
Right. I will check that out.
We
Sure.
do the handwritten notes and the postcards and stuff, but we actually lean heavier into everything you said, which is just getting out of your truck.
Yeah.
And so we're
End up
building
with a cool
software.
little map like this.
Yeah.
You know, he made this. This is a real time image
Yeah,
that
so
he
you can
pulled
pin
up.
it. It's much more than the mail thing. The app
Yeah.
does so much freaking more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking to move it up for this next. I figure probably a year or two from now, things might start looking up and with the cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
Cash flow.
But really, when it comes to lead gen, you've already figured that out, and that's processes that get you out and hustling.
Right, but you could always be better, right? So
Mhm.
it's like we were ready for these downturns because I actually started Go Green in the first crash of 08.
Mhm.
And I always tell my sales guys when sales are easy, you're just taking fucking orders. That's all you're doing. People are calling you, they're saying I want a roof, and you're giving it to them. Just wait till something fucking gnarly happens, and here we are. So that's why I always do all the sales training and shit like that. So you got to be always prepared for war,
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Sounds familiar.
and implementing some of these newer things. I'm definitely open to them, especially now that we're all friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to take a look at them and see what we can't do.
Let's do it.
Right
Yeah,
on.
good
Good
shit.
stuff.
All
TC
right.
family, this has been a great fucking episode. Make sure
Yeah.
you guys hop over to our YouTube page Behind the Tool Belt and subscribe to that. I believe we might have like one or two more subscribers since I asked you guys last time.
We're
So
up to 57 now, bro.
are we? There we
57
go.
subscribers.
Let's get us to 100 by the end of the year,
Let's
man.
do it.
Get us to 100. Ty said he'd wear a chicken costume if you did.
Yeah.
Nice. That's where you want to be there, man. YouTube's the best one. I'm telling you. It's evergreen, and people can always come back to this.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that part at minute 53 where they talked about this, where I wrote that note? And that's what's so good about YouTube and subscribing and hit the little bell and all that neat stuff for this, because this is information that is freaking, well, at least your guys' information is priceless. Mine's psychotic, but at least they can have some entertainment out of it, right?
Yeah. And inspirational, bro.
Yeah,
it
man.
really is. Your shit is educational, inspirational, and obviously
Entertaining.
very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
So,
Yeah, man, for sure.
and that's what it's not boring. So keep it up, man. It's good. It's good shit. That's why I'm very excited to meet you in person. So let's definitely nail down that date in January. And
Yeah,
we'll
for
be
sure.
in touch, bro. We'll chit chat back and forth. I'm sure. Way
For
before
sure.
then.
Yeah, you guys got any questions about anything, and if I can help you in any way, okay?
Me
Awesome.
too.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good
Pete.
stuff. TC Backer family, make sure you guys subscribe, like I said. And don't forget, we got the 21 Turkey Salute, 3rd annual 21 Turkey Salute coming up. Thanksgiving Eve, same time every year. If you guys want any information on that, that is on our Facebook page. It's also on the 21 Turkey Salute Facebook page.
Yes, sir.
Reach out to us if you guys would like to participate or have any kind of information. Come down and grab a plate. But other than that, man, it's been a great episode. Thank you guys for watching.
Can I do one little plug?
Yeah,
Do it.
absolutely.
Oh,
Plug it.
Where are you guys watching my videos at?
Facebook.
Facebook? Okay, I have a YouTube account. It's called True Grit. TRUGRIT. That's it. And that's
TRUGRIT.
yeah, there's like 60 other videos on there. I barely put I don't put too much stuff on Facebook because the X is on there and like my brothers are on there. So it's like the person that will really bring you down real fast of any hopes and dreams you may have is a family member.
Yes.
So and like a lot of my old friends from back in the day are on there. So I've been posting a lot of stuff on YouTube. So you guys will have a whole other cache of stuff to look at on the shorts, and they're
Yeah.
Excellent.
super short, and you just go through them all. Boom, 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 boom. Okay,
Yeah,
Yep,
man.
Sounds great, man.
Yep. True Grit.
True Grit.
Check it out.
All one word.
Check it out. I'm gonna subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah,
I just put it in
absolutely.
the comments for everybody so they
Oh,
can.
thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
TC Backer family, we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for
7
having me.
p.m. Episode 149. We're 2 away from 150, man.
Well,
Well,
Boom.
yep. Everyone have a good night.
see ya.